All right, here we go. Game 7's over. OKC are the NBA champions. I really wanted a Pacers close game or a Pacers win, but it's probably the best playoffs in a long time, at least the most that I've enjoyed.
Yeah, that was definitely something. I mean, the Pacers obviously were not expected to be there, and that would have been the biggest upset statistically in NBA Finals history with that 18-point win differential. And Shea, man, I mean, Finals MVP, he just ended the season with an unprecedented amount of aura, as he'd like us to say. And the first guy in 25 years to lead his team to the first seed, scoring title, NBA champ, Finals MVP, something that we have not seen, obviously, in a long time. And before Shaq, it was Jordan. So he entered unmarked territory, certainly. And, I don't know, man. That was something. I think the Thunder had to win that one. That was kind of a cherry pick win, in my opinion. That was something they should have won. The Pacers were obviously unmatched. Tyrese Halliburton going down in the first quarter was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like it was almost a must-win for SGA, Sam Presti. I mean, having the sixth best record in NBA history. The Pacers are a good team. So it was like, once you're there, I mean, anything can happen, especially if you play Game 7 at home.
Right.
So, that's in terms of that was hard fought for the Pacers. If they would have won, they earned it. It wasn't anything to be, ashamed of. But if they lost that, but you would think, all right, so you lose with KD, Westbrook, and Harden, and then you do a full rebuild. You make all the right moves as your Sam Presti, and then you lose in 7 at home with the scoring champ, with the MVP. So, yeah, it did feel like it had to be a must.
Yeah, and you're still looking at them saying they have more draft picks for 7 more years, man. This is...
Yeah, what do you do there? I mean, because you have to pay these guys. I mean, the second apron's going to come. And then, so you still have Chet on his rookie deal and Jalen Williams. SGA's been paid, deservingly so. You have Caruso. They have multiple runs geared up. Kind of how we were looking at Boston. They have some moves to make now, but they're even younger. And the way they're set up is pretty perfect.
Yeah, Shams has mentioned that, Boston's going to be making some offseason moves, which I'm going to find very interesting after winning the championship last year and potentially having the chance to repeat this year had not Tatum torn his Achilles, similar to what Haliburton most likely did tonight. And I don't know what to think about it because, like you said, Thunder are going to have to pay some guys. They have to pick and choose who they're going to pay, who they're going to let walk. They obviously let Josh Giddey walk after being the 1 seed. That ended up working out because they got Caruso, similar to Boston getting Drew Holiday back in 2023. And, who knows, man? The Thunder are going to be dangerous. They can go about this as strategically as they want. They have 7 more years worth of first-round draft picks. They can see who's in the draft classes each year. If they're guards, if they're bigs, let certain people walk. I think Hartenstein and Caruso and Isaiah Joe and Wiggins are the most expendable people, but the depth is what got them this far.
Yeah, I think that they're in a good spot, at least for now. Before you get into the details of the boring contract stuff, but I think they're in a pretty good spot, especially coming off the title win with the young core. But what's going to hurt is you thought these Pacers, all right, so they make a run this year. They upset a bunch of teams to make the finals, and you think, all right, Haliburton's 26, entering his prime, coming in the next year, and Tatum gets hurt, ends up being with the same injury, and we don't know for sure if it's Haliburton or his Achilles.
It's a sure thing. It's a sure thing.
Same ththing with Rodgers, same thing with Durant. You see the calf.
You see the rubber band, and you've torn your Achilles, right? You were telling me that.
Yeah, I've torn it, so it hits a little bit closer to home. It feels just gross when I see it on TV.
What does that feel like?
It doesn't hurt as bad as you would think. Basically, I would describe it as your foot is going through the floor, at least when you're walking on it. It feels like your heel's underneath, underneath the ground, basically. You can't move your calf at all, and then like a gunshot in your head, just loud.
Right.
Something's immediately wrong.
Yeah, my dad has torn his Achilles as well, and he's told me that it feels like you got shot in the back of the foot, and it's just all the motion and all the feeling in your foot is gone completely.
Yeah, I felt like someone kicked me.
Yeah. Yeah. You got kicked in the foot, and then it becomes like you've got shot in the foot. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just loud. It's really loud in your head.
Right.
Immediately. So yeah, I just felt you could see him like yelling on the ground, similar.
Yeah. He looked like he was crying. I saw him say, I did. And I was like, yeah, that's just not good. And I think that's a problem we have to talk about in the NBA. Kevin Durant had the calf strain in the first round of the 19 playoffs against the Rockets. He sat out to the finals. He played game 5. He was on fire to start, tore his Achilles immediately. Jason Tatum took a few games off, or maybe just one game off, I think in game 3 versus the Orlando Magic. And then he came back. He was okay. Then New York came around. Game 4, tears his Achilles. Tyrese Halliburton goes through the same thing. He said before game 7, that his calf is still sore and stiff, but he's going to play it out. And I mean, rightfully so. You're in the finals. You don't know if you're going to come back. But I feel like, again, you're a runner, and it may be a little bit different, but for a basketball player, I guess it's just, just waiting for it to be a guaranteed thing that you're going to tear your Achilles after this. And how are doctors and all these physicians and the best team doctors in the world not monitoring this in a different way to say a calf strain is the lead up to a torn Achilles, and what is the preventative steps they can take to stop this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answers to that. I guess it's just if you have a calf strain or calf issues, you almost shouldn't be playing on it, or it's something that you would immediately be thinking. I mean, it's not necessarily a death sentence. Like Durant's been awesome since he's come back.
Of course.
He's kind of changed the narrative of it, and he's older.
Right.
I mean, I do think it's something that is still a major injury. The way we've thought about ACLs and MCL tears has changed. I think Bernard King was the guy that tore his played for the Knicks, and that kind of changed the way that people thought about it as a career-ending injury. Because he came back and he was still pretty good. Dominique for his Achilles was probably the best
player to come back.
Yeah, because he was pretty awesome as soon as he came back. He came back pretty quick. So we can see. I mean, we'll see how Aaron Rodgers is for the Steelers coming off his second year back.
He's got some voodoo magic and the spirituality on his side, so that's going to be a little bit different for him.
Yeah, but I was just super disgusted that it happened to Tatum and Haliburton. They're so young.
Right.
Not that I wasn't when it happened with Durant, but just Durant was a little older, and he's been able to come back. It's just Haliburton's 25.
Yeah.
Coming off a career year, all the big shots, a great playoff run. It would have been, even if the Pacers lost, it would have been nice to see him on the floor for it.
Definitely.
It's the way it happened.
You want to see the Pacers in full strength lose, the right way. And the fact that Haliburton went down obviously was a travesty. But I think the sad thing was not seeing Siakam step up the way that you thought he would. In the third quarter, he just disappeared. Obviously, he was on the bench. And you just don't expect stuff like that. Siakam has been incredible. He won Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He's an NBA champion from the Raptors when he actually beat Kevin Durant in that series. And there's a lot about Siakam. He's a resilient basketball player. He's obviously an incredible talent. He's an All-NBA, most improved player. He has a lengthy resume in that regard. And he's a champion team player. I'm really shocked he didn't show up in the way that I thought he would.
Yeah, I thought it would be a better Siakam game. I mean, he's the 25 to 40 best player, somewhere in there, but he's still awesome. He's been a number 2, averaging 24 and 8 for the Raptors when they won the finals. He's a great second man. And then I think we did see with Haliburton being out how the offense can just kind of collapse. It was pretty hard to watch for a stretch there. And it was awesome, whippy old guy, TJ McConnell scoring a
My
bunch.
man.
But I think pretty soon, Richard Jefferson brought this up, and you could kind of see it in real time. They're letting TJ attack. And because of his size and how great defensively OKC is, I mean, Chet would collapse down. He would be getting counted by Dort. Everyone could collapse. But the thing is, they don't need to collapse on him because of his size. So they're basically staying out. So you're almost going one-on-one with TJ McConnell. And TJ's a great player, but I don't know if you want your whole offense in Game 7 of the finals to be, can TJ win at the rack one-on-one and not be able to kick out? And when you have Haliburton out there, the offense flows a lot better. Siakam's more involved. So as much as he was scoring, I think 12 in a row or 10 in a row, and it looked awesome. I love this. But like as a Whitfield fan, but it just wasn't something that was long term. Like
yeah, Haliburton also, man, he'll force the drive if he has to get everybody to collapse, and there's just so many kick out options. Neesmith obviously was a huge player from the perimeter this year around. Nemhard was also you saw him heat up the way he did at the end of the third quarter with that buzzer beater, and even in the fourth quarter he had some big shots to try to will them back. It wasn't enough, but it was. They have options. They have options for shooting.
Could have been an awesome Haliburton game too.
Oh my gosh!
To start the game,
that's when I was like, man, this is going to be bad if he gets hurt, and then it happened.
Yeah, it did kind of always feel a little like I even said in the warm-ups when he came through and he jumped, and I was like, his calf must be feeling okay. But sometimes, as an athlete, if your body feels a little banged up before you're about to go race or play a game, so you might be moving around a little bit different, a little nervous. Yeah. You're jumping on the foot that hurts, or you're moving your arm a little bit. Like you know how athletes think. And
yeah,
it's a little weird. Like he jumps, he might do that every time. I don't watch a lot of Pacers game warm-ups to see what Haliburton's doing, but I just paid attention there. And I saw him jumping, and I was like, I hope the calf's good. And then he's right out there doing that. And then it was just the classic, like he just took a step and it happened. He didn't even do anything crazy.
Yep. Yeah, you're going to have to convince someone in an insane amount of way to not feel amazing. You know what I mean? You're convincing yourself that you're fine. You're going to be, oh, yeah, we're good. There's nothing wrong. Yeah. It's like a fighter.
Exactly.
It's like a fighter. You're going to go under the ring. If you get knocked down, you're going to try to get up and tell the ref, I'm fine, ref, I'm fine. No, your brain is gone.
A little jump.
Yeah. So
I'm just devastated for him. Like, honestly, just having done the Achilles rehab, it's like coming off the Olympics, Eastern Conference Finals, then a finals appearance, and now he's basically going to have to rehab an entire year. And then it takes almost another year to get back to full strength. I mean, he has the best trainers in the world. You're in the NBA. You have a lot of resources to help you. So
even with that, he's out 18 months. It's not, and you play the last possible game you could play in an NBA season. You're going to be out the rest of the year, next year, and this is something again. You have the personal connection with Haliburton in the Achilles injury, but for the team, what we're talking about the team? Yeah, no, they're in trouble. They're definitely in trouble. They are not gonna be the same next year, obviously, without their best player. Boston is also going to be without Tatum for majority of the season, if not the entire season. So that leaves the Knicks, the Cavs, and the newly energetic Orlando Magic, who just got Desmond Bain off of off the Memphis Grizzlies. So they're going to be revitalized in that regard. And they had a decent year last year. If they didn't run into Boston, they could have made the second round for sure.
Exactly. And they're ascending. I mean, Paolo's getting better. I think he's in year 3. So I mean, as he gets older, he's gonna make that jump, I think, to being one of the best players in the league. He has the mold to do it, to be able to carry a team. Franz, and then you add in Suggs and Desmond Bain. So I think they're in a great spot. You want to see more out of the Cavs after such a great season.
Such an upset, man.
And, just like Donovan Mitchell. He was good for Utah in the playoffs, so you want to see a little more there. And then I think that you really want to see Mobley make a jump for the Cavs.
Yeah.
It's wide open. It really is, like, for those 3 teams.
I think Mobley is more ready than anybody after winning Defensive Player of the Year. He's clearly shown he's like on that level of being an All NBA player. Donovan Mitchell was All NBA first team for the first time in his career this season. Darius Garland is a player you want to see at the most consistent level, like Jalen Williams is for the Thunder. And then you want to see, again, that supporting cast the way the Thunder, Ty Jerome coming off the bench, giving you 20 if you need it.
It's like a McCollum.
Isaac Okoro, yeah. Yeah, they can 100% do it, but it's just a matter of, can you fight that? But now, again, the East is wide open. The West is interesting, obviously, because you have Denver. The Northwest division is like unprecedented right now with Timberwolves in Denver and OKC. That's never going to go away. That's going to be there for the next 10 years. Until Jokic retires, it's not going to be anything new. And Houston, obviously, now after today with Kevin Durant being traded, is going to be a contender. They're probably going to win a little bit more, in my opinion, maybe to get to that 53 to 56 win range. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, is like what Durant are we getting? I mean, he's still awesome when he plays. Is he good for 50 games? So then is a Sengun led team? Probably. I mean, you never really want to say it's a other person led team with Kevin Durant's on it. Maybe when he plays with Curry, but that's about where you're at in his career. I mean, he's 36 or 37. They traded away Jalen Green, which is fine. I don't think Jalen Green's ever going to be the best player on a championship team.
Yeah.
Maybe the best. So I think that's a smart move. I think you get Durant in there, veteran, and they needed someone to be able to score in close games down the stretch. And what better guy to do that than Durant? So,
Right.
Yeah, I don't see why they couldn't be a 4 seed, a 3 seed, to 6 seed. Like, I mean, it's going to be bunched up again probably. I want to see more moves in the offseason before you can really say where the Rockets will be. But I think they're better. I don't think they got worse adding Kevin Durant.
Yeah. I think the fact that they traded Jalen Green, like you said, he's not going to be the first option on any team. I'm not saying he's a bust, but I'm just not saying he is a, he's not an all-NBA player like that. He's not on that level. And now him going to Phoenix, it's kind of, he's going to be traded again, I think, from Phoenix. There's no way they're going to have Devin Booker and Jalen Green on the same team in the same position. That's just not going to work. It's like Shaq and Chris Webber when they were doing the Orlando Magic ideology of that we can't have these two on the same team. It just doesn't work. They both need the ball in their hands to succeed. So you're going to see Jalen Green be moved. For the Rockets, like you said, Sengun, he could lead the team potentially. I think Kevin Durant, like Stephen A. Smith said, he's second to none in terms of his scoring ability. He's arguably the best scorer and offensive player of all time in terms of efficiency. I think he could lead the team for the time being. You have Amen Thompson, who's another all-defensive player, athlete, insane bounce, and Sengun can be that force in terms of the big man. They still have Fred VanVleet. He's a veteran. He's a champion.
I mean, they're a good team. Like, you can talk me into that they'll win a lot of games. I can get talked into they'll win a ton of games. So, I like that. I like that move. They'll be fun to watch. And Ime's a good coach. Like, they're going to be tough. They're going to be good. It just kind of depends. Like, can Durant stay healthy and play a bunch through the year and then be ready for the playoffs? Yeah.
Well, I think, this is a great time to pivot now to who they have to beat, which is the Oklahoma City Thunder. And just looking at Shea, I think one last thing I want to really recap about him is what an incredible season he had. Like I said in the beginning, it's first time in 25 years you're able to be the finals MVP, the champion, the MVP of the regular season, and the top seed and the leading scorer. That is one hell of a season that you can just not, put behind us and not talk about. I think that is, like I said, unprecedented. And if you look at the framework they have, it is similar to what the Bulls were building in the 90s. And I'm not someone to over-exaggerate or overstep, but I do think the talk with Jalen Williams being who he is, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander kind of following this Michael Jordan, air type of career so far. He's also very young. He's 26. And then you have Chet Holmgren, who's not that good of an offensive force, but good enough to score 10 to 15 points a game, and he can be a juggernaut defensively at times. Hartenstein, another big defensive stopper, and also a quality rebounder for the team. You could compare him to Cartwright. Paxson and B.J. Armstrong is like Caruso and Dort. There's a lot of similarities. You can make a lot of arguments.
I don't mind it. It's really hard to win. So I agree with you. I don't mind the comparisons, and it does have the feeling where you're like, I'm going to see this team for a while.
Yeah.
So it's hard to win. I mean, you have a guy that is a viable, one option in the league. He's the MVP. He's probably the best guy in the league. You can argue with Giannis and Jokic. I'd probably still go with Jokic and Giannis over
I would go with Jokic too.
Sure. Just the style of play. But I mean, with the team around it, what better team around a mid-range scoring guard who we like to compare?
It's old school basketball.
Scoring guard of all time. Yeah. I mean, it's MJ, so I don't like throwing around MJ comparisons, but he's great. I mean, he's leading scoring, so he attacks the same way. He's a little less athletic, but I mean, pretty much everyone's a little less athletic than Michael Jordan. not a knock, really. There's a few guys, but I just have a feeling with the way Presti's been as a GM, a young team, I don't see why they can't just stick around for 4 or 5 years, barring injuries. And then you're gonna have to pay guys, but that conversation's for down the road.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to compare him to Jordan. I do want to compare the framework of the team to the 90s Bulls just because they do have 7 draft picks left, 7 first-round draft picks or more left. And like you said, they're not in a situation where they're like, okay, we have to pay guys and suffer the way that Denver suffered with not paying Bruce Brown, the way that Boston may suffer this summer, and the way that Golden State had to suffer after winning the championship. There's in the Bucks, it just never ends. And we haven't seen a back-to-back champion since Golden State. I think this is the best opportunity we've seen. And I said the same thing last year with Boston, but barring injury, I think they have a great chance. But OKC has draft picks. They have draft picks and they have options, I think they're going to be able to make it work.
Compare the particular players necessarily. You're right. I mean, Chase doesn't need to be compared to arguably the GOAT.
We don't need to do that yet. He's 26 years old.
He doesn't need that at all. But the teamwork, they're going to be a great team, and there's a chance. We throw around dynasty with the Chiefs and things like that in sports, but they have a good chance at it. So.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to be said about the Thunder. I'm really excited to see what they can do over the next 3 to 5 year span, but we kind of say this every year, right? I mean, everybody says this right after the finals is Boston has a chance to make a run. How can anybody stop Denver? Golden State's back. They're never going to give it up. Who knows what could happen? It's easy. It's easy to say right after they win, and we're just going to have to pay attention. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think the last thing I'll leave this with is, I'm definitely not about like who's on pace to do what, but if we're trying to treat Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in this conversation of being an all-time great, he definitely took the right step tonight with being 1-0 in the finals and not 0-1, and having this, I think he's potentially on pace to do, Steph-like things, but in his own way. And, he could be bringing back the old school game, like with the mid-range and with getting to the line and finishing. And who knows, man? I'm excited to see what happens. But I don't like throwing out crazy stuff because I see Stephen A. and people do stuff like that all the time. But I will say he is putting himself in a great pace. He's a 3-time All-NBA player, All-NBA first-team player, and now an MVP, now a champion, scoring leader. He's been extremely impressive.
Yeah, he's moving up the ranks fast. He's already has an MVP, which is something like Dwayne Wade doesn't have.
Exactly.
He led the finals as the best player on the team. That's not an argument. So he would have faced a lot of criticism if he lost, but that's the fun part. Like, teams are really good and guys are really good. It's sports. It's fun to get excited. So if you're a big Shai fan, be excited about it.
He has as many MVPs as Kobe Bryant. You can look at it like that.
Yeah. So, he's led the league in scoring, and I think he'll continue to do that. So.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I would say that just going from here, like, Chet showed up big after a lot of criticism. I think that people were saying that there was going to be some Chet talks if they ended up losing this game, and then for a little stretch, he turned into a prime team. I'm watching team highlights on YouTube. He's just blocking everything, and he just looked really good. And it's who cares about the frame? Who cares about shooting 12% from 3? He was a difference maker in the paint at the end of the game.
I think the last step for him is to realize that he's 7'2" and that he should dunk everything and not lay the ball up. There are situations where he'll be right under the rim and you're just saying, dunk the ball. And then he'll try to maneuver himself for a layup when he could really just it's all about the body control at the end of the day. If he could just move his body a little bit, then that's an extra 6-8 points a game. And I'm sure he's going to be in the offseason trying to get stronger, and you're going to see another version of Chet next year. He's trying to keep that lengthy frame so that he doesn't he can stay versatile, he can stay fast and stay in good shape. There's definitely a duality to that level of basketball. But again, I think he's going to be doing everything he can this offseason to train for, being a better under the basket player offensively. But defensively, he's figured it out for sure.
Yeah, he's super young, missed 50 games with the hip. So him and Jalen Williams, same draft class, will keep getting better alongside Shai. So there was going to be some criticism if they lost about these guys, but he's going to get stronger. I'm sure there will be a bunch of Instagram and social media stuff dude, Chet just put on 15 pounds. Like, all right.
Oh yeah, we got to see it.
There's not every year. There's guys. These guys are they're the weakest part of their game. They've worked on it in the off season in the gym. So you get that every year. But I mean, I don't see any issues with this team going forward.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, again, they're really lucky they got out of this series alive. It was very difficult for me to watch the Thunder have the potential to choke this game. Like, I was definitely on my, at the edge of my seat the entire game solely because Thunder could not hold the lead. And I'm like sitting there like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is a very easy step. Have you not watched LeBron through the 2010s hold the ball in situations where they're winning to the last shot clock? And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is in a similar position as LeBron. He can get the ball, and he can hold the ball, and he can make the right decision. So a lot of that is just, watching film, getting older. Their team's obviously very young. They're the youngest in the league. And it's going to take time. And the Pacers have vets, man. They have some vets. Like, they were ready for this finals, and especially after the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yeah, they played as a team. I mean, that was really just showcased. Like, they played hard the entire way. They had guys that were scrappy. So, it was, really just like praise to Rick Carlisle to be able to do that too and get the team together. I mean, like TJ McConnell, Turner, they were in like trade rumors for years, it felt like. Like, where's Turner going to go? And then he's part of this run. Like, how many people would love a TJ McConnell? I mean, his stock just went up a ton, so it's revisionist history, but I think he was pretty respected. I mean, people knew what McConnell brought to the table from years to come. And yeah, just even like trading Sabonis away and getting Haliburton, like, just nice to the Pacers front office. So it just sucked because you could be leaving this series, even if they lost, saying, all right, well, like, here's another run. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And the same group's coming back. But now with Haliburton gone, like, I don't know what a Siakam-led team necessarily is.
Yeah, I mean, Siakam went through similar problems after Kawhi left in 2019. It's hard to do that. It's hard to lead the team, and especially after going to the finals and for the last time around for Siakam winning, it's too difficult. I mean, you don't have your primary ball handler, you don't have your primary facilitator, and one of your leading scorers. And it's just too hard. So they're going to have to rest up for the year. I'm not saying throw in the towel immediately, but it's not going to be pretty, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to do as well as they thought before Haliburton went down. I feel so bad for him, man. I can't stop thinking about it. It's really sad.
Yeah, I'm bummed about it. But a good thing for OKC though. I mean, they finally have their own title. Sam Presti's finally got his title, so all the GM talk that he's been the best GM in the league, get the title. And then now Oklahoma City doesn't have to be saying, well, hey, we won with the Sonics in '79.
Seattle's pissed, man. They're pissed.
They're getting their team back, though, and Vegas is going to get theirs. So
yeah, Vegas is trying to become that next big sports city. I mean,
they'll be back.
You think Seattle will be back? I mean, they better bring Pittsburgh back if they're going to bring Seattle back.
I think Seattle's has to. I mean, they're such their basketball history still is rich. Like, I think that it would be a good spot to be. As much as I'd love Pittsburgh to get a team.
We don't have the fans. I'm just kidding.
We don't have the fans, and they already say that we can't house as many sports teams as we do. But I think we do it just fine. I think we do it as good as you can do it. But a basketball team would be fine. I mean, like the Iron Men or something would be an awesome name.
Yeah, no, the Ironmen, the Pipers, or that those are all historical.
If they're offering
treasures.
a Pittsburgh basketball team, I'll take it. I'll take that all day.
But we don't have the fans, man. I don't think the fans would even want that. Like, if you were to poll Pittsburgh, they would say, let's fix the Pirates first. We don't even care about a basketball team. Let's sell the team. So
let's get some money flowing through the Pirates payroll, and then we'll go.
Yeah, instead of the Pirates owners' pockets. Yeah, it's sad, man.
But look at us, 11:57. Talked about pretty much everything. It's not
everything. The whole season's over, man. We're done.
I know it's not a bad first podcast.
We're all going to sleep. It's not a bad first podcast at all. I just messed it up after that.
I can barely speak. I think whoever knows me really well that listens to this the whole way through.
Are you gonna say no Bev? You gotta say no Bev. This is no Bev.
First one. I do like the name. I'll probably refer to it as the No Bev podcast or the No Beveridge podcast, but I like it.
Yeah, no beverage is too much of a mouthful.
The No Bev podcast. It'll be a bunch of stuff just about sports. I've always wanted to do interviews. I always think about like I call it a late night hero. But I think before anybody goes to bed, they're thinking like, and no matter if it's sports when you're a little kid or an adult, you're just thinking, what am I going to do the next day, or what do I actually want to do? And just for years, I've wanted to do some sports media stuff, interview people, just create some things, and just not having either like the confidence to do it or just putting things together or trying to do it, writing a little bit. But like with Pat and you, like putting PJ together, I just like, it's a great opportunity. It's like, why not do it? What do you have to lose?
Well, no, man, I'm blessed to be a contributor on No Bev Pod, and I'm super excited for what we can accomplish. There's so much to do, so much to talk about. I'm excited to get into the running sphere of all this.
I'm excited. I like pretty much all sports, football, basketball, running, little baseball. I can't say that I'll talk about everything at a super high level, but you don't have to. You don't have to claim to be either. I'm not going to be talking about this and super in-depth things like what are we doing off this pick and roll? Like, are we trapping on the baseline here? But that's okay. Don't come to me for that.
Hey, to the listeners, this is not a resume. This man is married. Okay, like he's married. You can't have him. You can't have him. Can't have him.
Maybe get a little triathlon talk in there for my wife, who's a pro triathlete. Do want to interview a few triathletes that I had in mind. I think it's a really cool sport. It's adjacent to running. So I mean, I just like sports. I like talking to people. It won't be all sports, but if you know me well, a lot of my life revolves around sports. So
yeah. Hey, we're gonna first thing we're gonna do is put up a visual to say Noah Bev has as many rings as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's a true statement. It's a true fact. So. All right, fans. We've loved our time here. No Bev is officially adjourned.
It is midnight. Thank you, and goodbye.